What's up, everybody? Welcome to Sideline to Baseline with your hosts, MB and K. Lou. What's good, everybody? Orlando, Coach Early. Listen, GM Early. Hey, you know what I'm saying? He ain't never late. He early. Is in the building, y'all.
Coach, what nickname they give you? What's your nickname?
So growing up, a little long story, but I tell you, Duke is my nickname. Everybody in my family calls me Duke.
Okay.
There it is.
What happened, my grandfather used to call me Doodlebug. And then he said that I was going to outgrow that name.
Okay.
So he said, let's just call him Duke. And it's
it.
Matter of fact, when I was in college and they would send my grades home, it would say Duke on the letter.
Wow.
Everybody's always called me Duke.
Right. Wow. Duke. Okay. Can't look like that nickname.
Yeah. That'll work with me. You a winner. Hey, I would have snatched it if I didn't feel like you was a winner, but you're a winner. Well, look, y'all. Hey, that name, likeness, and image done struck, baby. Everybody making the money. Miami around here throwing out dancer dollars.
Oh, there you go. But hating on Miami, baby.
Hey,
hating on Miami.
They're out here making it rain, all ones.
Hey, man, that hate don't look good on you. That hate don't look good on you.
Hey, they done fooled 2 or 3 kids already.
Dude, Miami set it out right. We had a dude step up and say, look, if you're a scholarship player at Miami, hey,
right,
I got you covered. Look at it.
Right.
It down. Yeah, they take
Go ahead and tell him what he was gonna cover him with, though. Don't stop there.
He got him right.
Don't stop there. Let's tell him how much.
How much did he say? I forgot.
$500 in ones.
Now, there you go. The hate.
He gave him some trick money.
What, does he own a strip club or something?
Thank you, Orlando. Guess what I said? Like what?
What you say, Coach O?
I said, does he own a strip club or something? Like, why would he do that?
K. Lou telling lies on the man. Come on, man. K. Lou telling lies. You know?
I added the all ones part, Orlando.
Yeah,
that's the only
okay.
That's the only part I added, but it's $500.
Yeah.
I added in ones, but it might as well be. Well, look.
They promised they'll give you like a free tax return or something.
Hey, we'll talk about that. We're not done. But Orlando, prior to this, my brother called me. We always chop it up, and I told him, I said, you need to watch for the Pac-12, especially Oregon. I said, you need to watch for Phil Knight. I'm telling you, he ain't finna sit there. He never had. I didn't know this. That's a $200 million track stadium.
It's ridiculous, man.
Okay, so I said, listen, he don't play like that, man. He really believe in his ball club. Let's think about it. Oregon got popular, guys, and I hate to say this, but football players are very superficial. They got popular because of their jerseys. Like, straight up, like, every kid just wanted to put on a jersey. They had never been to Oregon, didn't know what Oregon was on the map. If they took all the names off, they just wanted to go because they would have had the Flyers uniforms, which changed college football uniforms. You don't believe it?
They didn't just have one. They had about 12.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
It changed the whole uniform game. The entire game, they flipped it on its head because they were winning recruiting because of a freaking jersey. Okay. They struck, man. They DN Kayvon Thibodeau then hit for a 6-figure deal with Phil Knight Nike. And hey, listen, I'm telling you right now, I believed it. I knew they'd strike first. And I'm gonna move forward and say y'all better look out for Stanford, Cal, UCLA, USC. That's that Silicon Valley money. I'm trying to tell y'all, they want to win out there.
Well, I think you better watch out for Kentucky as well. And those miners, those coal miners, I know the coal isn't as big as it used to be, but they'll figure out a way to compete in Kentucky.
Oh shoot, and Texas. I mean, I mean, wherever that money is, baby.
Okay, just remember this Pac-12 been lying dormant. We've been ignoring it for some time now. I'm telling y'all, that's over with. That's over with. Just remember, and I'm talking about football especially. That's over with. That's where I'm focused right now. Coach Early, I'm on this football grind. And then while he throwing my Blue Devils away, you watch them. Just watch them too now.
They gonna get free tax return.
I'll tell you this now. In the state of North Carolina, and I spent 5 years there coaching in the ACC. But in the state of North Carolina now, it is a Tar Heel state.
Oh, absolutely.
100%. I mean,
it's not even close.
It's a small pocket of Duke fans in the state. Now they're all over the country.
There you go.
But
the world, Craig, the world.
Right.
The world, Craig. That's where we at. hey, so, and then there was one more other thing that came out this week. Again, and you touched on it a week ago when you talked to us about overtime. You see who they signed? The number 2 player in the country in 2023 is going to play Mr. Jalen Lewis, my cousin, my 4th cousin. I found that out on Ancestry. I'm playing again, y'all. Just kidding. But Jalen Lewis, he balling like that. He probably live my cousin somewhere. He need to do his blood, and then we'll see on Ancestry if he connect with me.
Am I correct on this? But I think I got a text message on that said he's gonna make $1 million.
I don't know what it said.
I didn't see that, but wouldn't shock me. I didn't see the ESPN article I saw didn't tie money to it.
Okay.
Yeah, but I only saw one article. I was just super excited, and it goes back to the conversation. And MB was sharing. We were sharing right before the show. I was saying it goes back to. I really believe these kids, like this internet, this social media, right, is a bigger deal to them than the NBA. And I know y'all about to throw rocks at me right now, but I don't think y'all get them. I don't think you got these top kids like himself. If you look at their social media, they're attached to it. They're sending 20 messages to it a day, man. It's their job.
Yeah, but
go ahead.
I don't think that they're more that is more important than the NBA. I think the money is more important. Like I will read this to you. I got the text.
Right.
Jalen Lewis, team Why Not, Bishop O'Dowd High School, top 5 in 2023, was promised $1 million to play in the Overleague League. Right. He's leaving all of this behind.
Exactly.
That's what the text just said.
Right.
But here's the thing.
The money, baby.
With him doing that and declaring already his name, image, likeness thing, he'll probably make more outside of their deal.
If he's good.
That's what his kids are. But he'll make more because of his social media following, because these companies are looking at who's attached to him. So I made this statement to MB before we came on. I said they are almost as big as an asset to the NBA, than the NBA is to them. Like, this is where we're turning. And I'm telling you guys, because there are guys out there that can't play, will never see no NBA and making money hooping.
I tell you what else is done. It's made that and I won't say there's arrogance in the NBA in terms of the scouting. There's arrogance in the NBA in terms of their basketball knowledge. But in terms of the scouting, I wouldn't say as much arrogance, but it's going to change the way they do things, because now this kid is a top 5 player in the country.
All right.
Normally, that equates to an NBA player. So now you're going to have to start following this kid and research this kid and doing your homework on this kid And it's harder for those guys to get that information if they don't go to college because they don't know the AAU guys. They don't know the street guys. They don't know these guys that you got to talk to find out about the kid to get background on.
Right.
So it's going to change. It's going to change the way they do things.
Well, Orlando, hey, I know you got something up your sleeve, baby. You better start hitting them high school gym. Hey, you supposed to be in Atlanta tonight. I don't know what you doing. Peace Jam going on right now. You supposed to be there right now.
No, I think it's next week.
Oh, okay. Well, they got a big tournament though, because all the guys I know. See, I'm attached to that now. All the guys I know, they there right now. They're not Orlando. They in some parts Atlanta.
They got one
some part of Georgia right now.
They got one in Atlanta and one in Birmingham this weekend.
Oh, okay. Because all of them out of town, and they're gonna be out of town for the next 3 weeks. I think next 2 or 3 weeks, and that's where everybody's, all the big time coaches. I think it's an open period now, so they can go out and see. So basketball is different. MB, no, ain't nobody getting no scholarship offers in high school if you're a D1 program kid. Like everything now, MB. If little Asher want to hoop, man, I might tell him we ain't even worried about high school. That's how insignificant high school basketball is right now. These 3 weeks right now, these boys gonna come back with awful mania.
Oh, you talking about with
I'm gonna tell you a story about that, K-Lou. So I'm working at the University of Alabama at the time, and I'm in my car, and an AAU coach calls me, and he has the kid next to him. Now, and our head coach is in the car with me. So he puts me on speakerphone and he's talking to me, and I don't know the kids in the car. Then he says, hey, I got such and such in the car with me. And, when he called, we're allowed to talk to him. So I say, hey, how you doing? This, that, the other. And then the AAU coach said this on the phone. He said, now, have your high school coach got you on the phone with any big-time coaches yet? And the kid said no. And so those guys, they push that now.
Right.
Yeah.
They push that. And the high school coach, this dude's got a family. He's not doing this. Hey, he's coaching his team. He's teaching English.
Waste of time, MB.
Right.
These boys come back to school with offers.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Like coaches have no idea. Orlando them ain't never heard, seen, know the name of their high school coach.
And I know football was trying to go that same pattern with the 707, but it's picked up some steam. But the head coaches, the coaches in high school, still involved.
Yeah. See, football is light years ahead of college basketball and the way they do things and how they handle it. I mean, they keep it. They do a good job with it.
Yeah.
Well, and that the only reason though, Orlando, is the pads. Honestly, if they could play with pads in the summer, football be over with too.
That's a good point. That's a
707 would control it as well.
Yeah, the 707. Trust me, we always try to identify what's the term? Who's the champion in the kid's life?
Right.
And who's the person? Basically, who the person going to help
decision
make
maker?
Decision. Yeah. And so you look at it, you think mom and pop, but those coaches also play a big part of it, especially the 707 coaches, because in the summertime, you're trying to get the kid to camp. And a lot of times he involved with the 707, and that 707 coach is going to be the one that brings you to your camp in the summer, So they gaining power. They have some power now.
And it's important with those guys because a high percentage of them can't make the call. They can't tell the kid go to school A, but they can all stop him from going to school A.
Yeah.
So you got to make sure that your relationship is tight with those guys.
Yeah. Because
they can hurt you at any moment.
No doubt.
But I'll say this too about 707 though, MB. What you do see happening, and I don't know how much it is you did yourself or saw, but what did happen at least when I was involved in it heavy. Is your skill guys, receivers, DBs, quarterbacks, they were just like these basketball guys. They were already getting offers on for playing flag football.
Yeah.
Now, everybody else, linebackers, you got to earn it. You know what I'm saying? Running backs, you got to earn it. O-line, D-line got to earn it. But those receivers and DBs, quarterbacks, man, they showed up. They start showing up with it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
All right, so, Coach, they already down 0-2, or the way we saw it, the Suns up 2-0. You basketball purists, did you see this coming? And go ahead and do your breakdown of game 1 and then game 2, Coach.
Well, first of all, I don't know if I saw this coming. The way it's played out, but what I want to do here is I want to point out 3 things in game 1 that was interesting. So the first thing is the pick and roll and the defensive matchups. Milwaukee started the game out with P.J. Tucker on Chris Paul, which I thought was a good move. Right. I thought that was a good move. They had Holiday on Booker, which, I thought that was a good move. Well, what happened was when they started P.J. Tucker on Paul with the mindset of we're going to switch every ball screen. Then the Suns start putting Lopez on the island. Okay.
Right.
Now you got to decide, what are we going to give up? Okay. Are we going to give up a contested 2 or are we going to give up 3s? Well, if we switch it, we're hoping to give up a contested 2 by those guys attacking. Well, Chris Paul and Booker was taking him behind the line. Now they're making 3s on him. And so that was a huge, I don't want to say mistake, but game plan blunder. And then they changed and they decided, well, okay, we want to let's play drop. Let's drop. And what that means is the point guard comes off and the big guy Lopez now sits back in the lane.
Exactly.
Okay. When Ayton dives to the basket, it causes rotation to help because the guy that got ball screen is coming late. So Brook Lopez can't move yet. So he's causing rotation.
Oh, wow. And Ayton done dove past him.
Yes, or they rotated, they swung it, and guys shot 3-point shots.
Right.
Okay.
And so that hurt him. So that's one thing I want to point out. Number 2, transition, man. The Suns really destroyed Milwaukee with fast break baskets, man.
Right.
It was the 10th highest. It was 101 possessions in that game. That's the 10th highest finals in the NBA history, saying how fast that game was. The Suns attacked them on mades and misses, and they kept the pressure on them. And the Bucks don't get any easy baskets. Right. Everything they get is in the half court, and it's a grind, and it's nothing easy. So that hurt them. The third thing I want to point out from game 1 is Holiday and Middleton. End of the day, they got to be better for the Bucks to have. Now, Middleton was pretty good offensively. He was pretty good. He had 29 and 12, but boy, did he struggle defensively. I mean, Booker just cooked him while he was on him. Okay? Right. And then Holiday was awful offensively, but did a great job defensively. He held Booker scoreless while he was on him. Right. So now the thought process, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? So you get to game 2, and the adjustments of the pick and roll, the adjustments that were made was the Bucks put Holiday on Paul, which was a good move. So they say we're gonna stay home. We're gonna traditionally either drop or we're gonna fight over the ball screen and play it probably the way you guys played it when you was in high school. The big man show, the guard plays over the top, you stay at home. And I thought it was pretty solid. But then the same thing from game 1. Those guys start over-rotating, and the Suns wind up hitting 23s in that game. 23s in game 2. Now, they also did
50%.
They also did this. It's okay to go into a game and say, hey, man, we got to guard the ball screen on several different ways. Okay, so they switched it, they dropped, they doubled it sometimes. They had all kinds of different ways they was guarding it. then late in the game, I shouldn't say late in the game, throughout the game, they had confusion where they wasn't communicating on how they guarding it. And I'm sitting back saying, Kiss, keep it simple, stupid.
Right.
I mean, just keep it simple for them.
Right.
And they gave up wide open shots. Now, in game 2, the Bucks did a great job of stopping the Suns in the half court. But the Suns guards are so talented. Excuse me. The Bucks did a great job of stopping the Suns in transition.
Right.
The Suns guards are so good at creating shots for themselves and creating for others that even when they stopped them in transition, they couldn't slow them down much.
Right.
They couldn't slow their offense down. And then their other guys were really good because they can create easy looks for them. You know, when you look at Holiday and Middleton in game 2, offensively they both were bad. Right. I mean, I think Middleton takes hard shots. They got to figure out a way to get him easier looks. As much as I love the Greek feat, Giannis, and he scored 42 points, he don't make the game easy for guys. Right. He's got to get the ball in the mid post. It's congested. He don't make the game easy. So all these guys, they got to take hard shots. And I think Holiday got to stay in attack mode. He took 21 shots in game 2 and he missed them. Right. He took some good shots and missed them. So those were the in game 1 and then in game 2 the adjustments. In game 3, what you need to look out for is the Bucks playing faster, moving the ball, spreading the floor, and shooting the 3 the way they did it in early in the year. Dang. Look out for them doing that. Who defends Booker? That's the huge question that they're in their staff meeting right now saying, okay, when Holiday guards him, he stops him, but then who's going to guard Paul? Right. And then then we got to put Middleton on Paul, or if we put Holiday on Paul, we got to put Middleton on Booker. Well, Middleton can't defend it. So in game 3, watch out. Make sure you guys watch out who's guarding Devin Booker. Right. And then does Phoenix pick up the pace like they did in game 1? Because game 2, Milwaukee did a good job of slowing them down. Did they go back to it? Did they pick up the pace? Did they spread the floor and attack? Chris Paul don't always like to play that way, but he's effective at it. And the last thing I'll say, guys, is teams that fell 0-2 has lost 31 of 35 NBA finals. Wow. So
now that's interesting when you hear, when I listen to the basketball analysts though, they always kind of say in the NBA wise, like protect home. So they're never worried. That's interesting stat, but they never seem to be worried about a team going down 0-2 as long as those 2 games were at home. And then another team come back and make it 2-2, then they're like, okay, we back even.
Hey, you know
so
what?
That's an interesting stat to hear, knowing that they're never concerned. I'm concerned.
And by the way, and so is the Bucks coaching staff in front of
right. Right.
Go ahead.
Because usually, I mean, from the Bucks standpoint, or you the visiting team, their first 2 games, you like the motto is like, hey, we got to at least get 1. Yes. You're that's the mindset. You're like, man, we got to get at least 1. We got
now. If the Suns still won in Milwaukee, it's over.
Exactly.
Man, it's over.
Exactly.
And I'm watching this game, and I'm thinking to myself, I'm watching game 2 is when I thought about it. How bad would this have been if Giannis wouldn't have been able to play?
No doubt.
It would have been terrible. It would have been exactly what all of us would have thought.
Yeah. But hey, I said, as I was watching, I said, K. Lou's mom wouldn't have watched this game.
No, that's see what I'm saying? Hey, she still ain't watched. She ain't even asked me who playing for you. That's how insignificant it is. But go ahead.
No, I was just thinking like what you said, but it's like when you talk about Giannis, he makes it hard for his supporting cast, right?
Yes.
I mean, is there something to like? I mean, obviously, we don't want this form. How can they play better together? Because when he was out, right, with Atlanta, I mean, those Holiday, Lopez, Milton, those guys stepped up to the plate. You know? And then since he's back, it's like, okay, especially with Holiday or Holiday, he's milk carton, you know? You're not getting that consistent third player. Because even like Milton in the previous thing, I think against Brooklyn, they had between Milton and Giannis, they had like one of the top scoring in NBA history, you know, as far as the points and stuff. But to get that consistent third guy, get Holiday going with those three, that's kind of been an issue.
Yeah, they got to do that. But here's what was interesting for me, and basketball fans will jump all over me for this, but the Bucks are treating Giannis, and he is a superstar, but hear me out. They're treating Giannis like he is LeBron James type guy. They want the ball in his hands 75, 80% of the time. That's not who he is. He can't create for other people. So now when they're giving him the ball and putting him in isolation spots, and he's scoring, but the Suns are making it. He's making tough shots. He got to go to the line. They crowd the lane.
Yep.
He don't make the game easier where he's not skilled enough to drive it, draw the defense, kick out for three, make the game easy. He's not skilled enough to do that. So to answer your question, like what do they do there? Well, number one, you gotta eat your pride a little bit, and probably what they told him to get him to re-sign for the max. But you gotta say, hey man, we want to play you around the basket more. And as we talked a couple of weeks ago, them dudes hate to play the five. They hate
right.
So to tell him that, I mean, that's what he's got to do. Again, when he wasn't on the floor, they moved the ball better because it didn't stick in his hands.
Right. And that's what I wanted to ask you that. And then when you talk about moving to the five, I mean, to me, when it seemed like when they're in there, they doing pick and roll. Lopez, his guy coming to do the pick, you know, trying to get him involved. And then when they make the move, put Giannis at the five, then now they do like a double pick or something like that. They try to get a different dude than Giannis, you know, for isolation.
And a couple of things with that with Giannis. So I don't know if you guys noticed, but they went 2-3 zone when they went small to keep Giannis out of those pick and roll situations because Chucky brought this up, Atkins, or you guys said he said it, like, if Giannis is involved in the pick and roll, they're going to go at it to get fouls on him, to force him to exert energy.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to make that guy, and so the Bucks don't want that. So that's why they kind of keep him out of that situation. And, I mean, guys, I don't know this, but I've got to think there's no way he's 100% healthy.
Right. Well, is one of the moves is for the Bucks to go small ball, put him at the five and bring Teague in? Because you posed the question who's going to cover Booker, right? Or Paul, right? So put Holiday on Booker and then put start Teague and have him on Chris Paul and go more of a smaller lineup. Is that the best?
You know, I think that is a good lineup, and I said that in game one that the Bucks may be better off going small, but you know, you play, I don't know what their record was. You play 82 games. You got a style you play. You got a rotation. I mean, you know, Lopez, by the way, outside of being isolated in those pick and roll situations, which most big guys in the NBA will get cooked like he did because he got cooked.
Right.
He's been really good, though.
Yes.
Yeah, he's been really good. So now you don't play him? I mean, you know, it's a tough deal.
I'll jump out there and say he's probably been the best big man to make this new NBA transition because he was a guy that shot one 3-point pointer or a couple a year, and now he putting them up the way he does and at a high clip. So, you know, I think he made this new transition better than I really say anybody. Big man wise, you talked about Drew Holiday, and I never like when people do this. You know, obviously he had a bad game one, he hit 10. Game two, though, that's who he is. 17-7 is who he is. Like, and I hate when people down you and want you to become this person you've never really been. So,
well, 17-7 may be who he is, but what was his shooting percentage in game 2?
It was 7 for 21.
I don't know.
He had 21 attempts.
Yeah. So, but I think he shot 20-something%. Like, I'm not saying he's got to get 30, but he's got to be efficient.
Right.
He's got to find a way to be efficient. And he
shot 33% from the field and 33 from 3.
See, that's not good enough.
Yeah.
He got to be 50, 49, 50 from the field and 40 from the 3. That's where he's got to be at. Now, I'm not saying you got to get 30, but he's got to be efficient. And if he's efficient, then he can help other guys become better players.
Right.
Because now they got to spend, they got to lock on him a little more. They got to pay more attention to him. But right now I tell you what he is doing, man. He blocked, he dunked, he came back and blocked Booker in transit. I mean, he's been unbelievable defensively. But Caleb, you're right. I mean, he's not a guy that's going to get you 35 a night. I mean, that's not who he is.
Right. But I think what I'm hearing though, K-Lou, is that they just want him to be aggressive. So I mean, the fact that he was 7 for 21,
that sound good though. I'm just always upset when you want people to play outside themselves, so y'all can throw that great and superstar name on them, and that ain't who they are.
Yeah, I don't think nobody trying to say his superstar. From what I keep hearing this whole time, I mean, this whole playoff is like they need to be more aggressive, take more shots, be more aggressive. You know, his teammates got on him from after the first game. Hey, man, you need to be more aggressive, take some shots, take more shots, do you know? Especially when Giannis was out, then you saw a glimpse of what he can do and what they want from him. So now that's why I was asking Coach, how do you continue that with Giannis back in, you know?
Yeah, see, he don't need to do anything different again, guys. If you go back and watch the tape, he probably missed 5.
Right.
He that's 27 points he wound up with.
Yeah.
I mean, he took some good shots and he missed some very easy ones. He just got to stay where he's at and make a few of those. He got to make 3 or 4 of those.
Right. And I like him when he put some pressure on there because I guess Chris Paul was on him one time. I mean, he had him post Chris Paul up. You know, take advantage of the matchup. You know, he's bigger than Chris Paul. So I think if he could do that, but you're right, he did miss some shot. I remember he had a breakaway layup, and then Chris was on him, but he ended up missing it. So he missed some shots in the paint.
Yep.
So Coach Early, you talked about earlier, you mentioned look out for game 3. You want us to look for them to spread the floor a bit more and get Giannis back in the paint. And then hopefully be able to shoot out of that off of the doubles, and probably that's what I'm anticipating you're saying will come out.
Yes.
Is that true?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So, but again, I'm a football guy. So I'm looking at it and I'm looking at the tape, and where you seeing the greatness of the Suns, I'm agreeing, but I'm seeing MB, man, they more skilled than us.
Like
more skilled.
You saying the Suns is more skilled
than the Bucks, right?
You are 100% right. Listen, in my notes, I wrote this, K-Lo.
Right.
I said it don't really matter how the Bucks are playing. As I'm watching game 1 and 2, how the Bucks are playing the pick and roll, it's as much Chris Paul and Devin Booker and what they're doing against the pick and roll than what the Suns are doing.
Absolutely.
I mean, what they're doing. So you're right. I mean, they may be just better.
So then again, I'm a football guy. So I don't care that I'm looking at basketball. I'm still thinking in terms of football. So I say, man, that's like playing somebody MB like the greatest show on turf. Like they're just gonna do some things offensively that hey,
you're right.
It's just gonna be better than us, MB, right? Defensively. But what we do is we say, okay, y'all pretty, we ugly. We finna make it ugly. And we about to challenge y'all. We about to dirty this thing up. We about to Detroit Piston this thing. Cause we ain't gonna get ran out of here just not even trying. And we always 2 steps slower and two thoughts and three thoughts behind y'all. We gonna throw an elbow. We finna get a penalty here, there, and when you come through that lane, we gonna check your eye. We checking your eye. So for me, my mind ain't, hey, let's spread it out and try to play better basketball than them. We can't do that. But one thing we gonna do, everything come to this rim, we trying to hit you or the ball or both of y'all. Okay,
don't matter. One guy on their team that'll punch you in the mouth.
PJ Tucker.
That's it. That's it. Every other guy on their team, you want to hear your daughter.
Right.
But so what you telling me is what we just saw Jeff say. Sons and folks. Yeah. What you just, because to me, the game I'm watching say, hey man, we gotta dirty this thing up.
Right. Well, and that's not how they played all year. I mean, the Bucks defense has been pretty solid. Right. And again, their adjustment to take away their transition points in game 1 to 2 was pretty good. They were able to accomplish that. But then they just couldn't handle those two guards. But so they're a good defensive team, but they're not a grinded out, punch you in the mouth type team. They're just not.
Right.
And they don't have the personalities there. Like, you know, and this ain't a bad thing. And for kids that are listening to this is a good thing. But I'm just making
it's not though.
Every time somebody falls on the floor, Giannis is going to help him up. You know,
man,
like those guys are just good guys.
Right.
I'm losing my mind on the sideline. If I'm watching that, I'm like, what? Why are we here? We just go watch. They better than us already, so we got to take this thing somewhere else. Like, I'm that kind of coach, LB. I'm finna tell you, look, us trying to guard this ain't gonna work. We ain't gonna guard this like that. Get in him. Don't let him pick you. That's how I'm talking. When he pick you, run through it.
Right.
Hey, I don't know if you. Oh, you know what? Drew Holiday did that on one possession.
And that's what you got to do every time. I guarantee they start easing off.
Yes, he did get physical. But I don't know if you guys paid attention to this. And Monty Williams is doing one heck of a job. And I've always liked him, but I'm really respecting him more. But they had him mic'd and he was talking about Ayton. Ayton was dominant in game 1. Absolutely dominant. Okay. Right. From a basketball pure standpoint, his defense, his offense, what he did to change the complexity of the game. Game 2, he wasn't as good. Exactly. And Monty said to him, don't worry about your stats. Dominate this game with your force.
Wow.
Use your force.
Right.
You know what? And he was right. He was right.
See, how Monty gonna be? Hey, how they gonna be more skilled and tougher than them? Like, that's what that just said to me. It'll be hell. Sons and four. Thank you, Jeff.
Well, I thought the only thing the best chance. I mean, they, like you said, I agree with you as far as the mentality. I think to me that third quarter that Giannis had he was starting to be more aggressive, starting to be more physical. I was like, man, they need to do that. They need to be more physical, get some dudes in the paint, you know, just try to use their size, you know, because Ayton is really the only big guy. They got Crowder's trying to be tough, but they need to try to do something. They need to start going to the gut, do something, man. I agree with you.
Yeah, so again, but when Giannis was doing that, which he's a great player. I'm not taking he's a great player.
But it's not great.
What he was doing he was taking it one-on-one and just driving it to the rim and being aggressive, going to line, and it didn't help anybody else.
Right. Because the one guy they got, I mean, what the Suns had, what 5 guys in double figures, right? And then I think Bucks had maybe 3 or 4, but I mean the other dude got to step up as Middleton, man. He's got to step up.
He's got to be a better player. And I think they need to help him get better shots. They got to figure out a way to help him get better looks. He's taking some tough contested shots.
Exactly.
I think Come
fourth
on.
quarter, he had a couple like 3-pointers, you know. But he had one 3-point because he was 1 for 3, and he just got to be aggressive. He got to get some shots.
I think the past 2 seasons we've seen, the best of Chris Middleton, and I'm not saying that as in a negative way. I'm saying, shoot, you think of a guy how he came in the league, where he came in the league from. I think he's completely outdone all of his expectations. So it's not coming from there. But I think we've gotten out of him. He's getting out of himself all he can. He's definitely not an athletic kind of guy. He gets off, you know what I'm saying? He one of those guys that you could barely throw deal cards underneath him when he jumps. So, I mean, I think he's getting every ounce of his ability out of him. And that's his limit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I hear y'all saying he need more. Yeah, he going to have a crazy game. He go for 30 plus 40. He had that 40 game to 1 game.
Yeah.
But
early in the playoff, it just gets consistent.
But guess what? That ain't him. Like I said about Drew, that ain't him. You know what I mean?
I'm with you 100% on Middleton. I think Chris Middleton should be on an NBA championship team. He's your third best
guy. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, or fourth. Yep.
Man.
But I think he's played himself. What I saw this year, especially, he's played himself into a number 3 for me.
Well, yeah,
for me. And what I've seen him do, especially when, he completely carried him to this point when Giannis went out. I mean, he put the whole team on his back. So that at least told me he's a 3 guy. He's a playoff P, baby. Playoff P in the same league.
Don't disrespect playoff P. Playoff P say, man, I'm a legit number 2, man. Playoff P, a legit number 2 after the playoff, baby.
I guess when it's just you and Kawhi and Pat Bev, you're number 3. If Pat Bev, you're number 3, then.
Well, I think this year Reggie Jackson was the 3.
Yeah, Reggie Jackson.
Oh, yeah, my bad. Yeah, he did start playing with. Well, shoot, they didn't play him. The Pat Bev got hurt though.
Yeah, that's true.
So I mean, man, yeah, this is interesting though. When I look at the Phoenix Suns and all that they come with, it's all here we go again. Where you done tried those 2 things you just told us, and then so you're saying look and see who they put on Chris Paul, who they put on Devin Booker.
Well, Booker is the key. How are they going to guard Devin Booker? Right. Because whoever Holiday guards, he does a good job. But then the other guy gets killed.
Well, because
you got to what are we going to do? Holiday started out on Booker in game 1. Yeah. And Booker was, when you watch the possessions when Holiday was on it, Booker went scoreless. But Paul got going.
Exactly.
They switched him on to Chris Paul.
Right.
And put Middleton on Booker. Right. And it was July 4th barbecue time. Get your grill ready.
Right. Barbecue chicken, baby.
Right. Exactly. Exactly.
Man, I just hate the fact that we can't get to a point where a team or a coach, say, hey, bump all that. Hey, man, go out there, run through everything. We ain't switching nothing. Run through it. It's your man. You stop your man from scoring, okay? Listen, Giannis, if it get to the rim, you come from out of nowhere and get it off of there. But, hey, don't be running up trying to save them immediately. It's a last resort thing. And then we get that thing. We go now. This is the other thing. The other thing that I have that I believe I would do versus what you're saying. You're saying spread the flow, bump that, pound that thing. Like MB said earlier, you got Brook and you got Giannis. Slow the heck out of the game down. Cut out all their possessions, as many as you can, and make this thing like I wrote in my notes when you were talking. Make the game ugly, man.
Okay,
all the way around.
So, Caleb, let me make sure you understand what I mean. When I said spread the floor and get going from the 3-point line, that's what the Bucks did all year. I don't mean spread the floor.
That game no more.
I don't mean to say spread the floor and play fast.
Okay.
I'm saying spread the floor, put Giannis around the basket, make him have to double him. Now the floor spread, you double him. That's a longer way to rotate. You make one pass, rotate, two passes, should be a shot.
Right.
That's what I mean by that. But what they're doing is they're isolating Giannis at about 15 to 12 feet out.
Uh-huh.
You don't have to double him there.
Right.
You don't have to double him there. If Giannis is going to make, 8 or 9, 12 foot, 7 foot shots, 10 and 20, 7 foot shots.
Right.
Let's live with it.
Exactly.
You have to double him there. So that's what I mean. But I agree with you. They need to, and that's why I said, does Phoenix pick up the pace like they did in game 1? Because the Bucks need to grind it out. They need to keep it at a high-scored game. Now it's a wheel of, okay, you guys want to do that? Can we get the game going fast? Because I'm sure Monty is watching film right now, and he's saying, hey, guys, we won game 2, but they took away our break. Because in game 1, we had them, it was like they punched them in the mouth, and they would just attack. Now, in game 3, guys, let's don't let them take our breakaway. Let's stay aggressive. Let's attack. Let's make this game fast, more possessions. Because you're right, K-Lou. They're the more skilled. They're better offensive. They need more possessions.
Right.
Yeah, they look so much athletic, bro.
Right.
Yeah.
One of the things we always talk about, on the football side, like if you got a great offense, we trying to run the heck out of that ball. Like even if our offense don't run the ball, they're going to be throwing dink and dunk West Coast passes, getting on the ground just like it's run. We're going to take our time, huddle up, tick-tock. Because they know they need to give us a breather. When we get back out there, we got to go, oh, it's a mess. Nah, ain't it, MB? It's just like, oh, Lord. They all over the field. We tired. We patting our heads trying to get in and out the game. And it's a mess. So that's how I see this.
So in football, have there ever been a team to lead in time of possession but not be a good team? Is that possible?
Yeah. MB, you can say, well, not be a good team, like no, lead the league in time of possession.
Yeah, let's say they led the league in time of possession, so they kept the ball more than anybody. Are they a playoff team for sure? If we lead the league in time of possession, are we playing in the playoffs?
Not necessarily. Like you can go to the playoffs, but you may be at the bottom. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So how important is that stat? How important is that?
So no, it's just because you're so good on offense. That's the only reason why we want to keep it.
Orlando, usually when you see a team like that, right, that lead the lead in possession, usually it's a smash mouth team.
Yeah, like
Tennessee Titans.
Tennessee right now, yeah.
Like the old Seattle Seahawks, it's a run first mentality, and then they got it.
Well, that's how the Cleveland Browns play. Run first.
Correct.
Well, and like the Baltimore Ravens, right? It's those type of teams. When you look at it that way, they usually got a great defense as well. So they're just gonna smash mouth. They committed to run the ball. It's a smash mouth mentality.
Got it.
Let's look at that.
But and what I'm saying though, Orlando, is when we do it, and that's not who we are, we're doing it because you're so good at what you do. It's another defensive play. It's coming from the head coach because he's telling our OC, hey, we got to slow it down this week. They're too explosive. You see what I'm saying? On offense. So we got to help our defense with our offense. That's what mentality I'm coming at it with.
Orlando, let me here's the time of possession leaders from last year, right? Green Bay was number 1. New Orleans Saints was number 2. Baltimore was number 3. Chargers 4. Rams was 5. San Francisco was 6. And the Dolphins was 7. So you look at the top 5, all those are playoff teams.
Wow. Well, let me say this, Kalo, I totally understand, and there's got to be some adjustments made. But think about a basketball season. And football's the same way, but think about an NBA basketball season. You start training camp, and you play 82 games, and you build a philosophy of who we are. Who are we? It's hard. It's hard. It's hard.
I know where you going, Paul.
I mean,
We don't do that. MB would tell you every game is a different game for us. Like, it's like, next, we don't even care what happened last week. It's like, look, this is what they do. This is what we got to just do.
so what do you do in training camp, Dan? What's your philosophy? What's your defensive philosophy?
Well, hold on. Like, let me say, like, you have your base. It all depends on the team, right? In the philosophy on the team. Because when I was at Seattle, defensive wise, we did what we did. We didn't have a lot of adjustments. We ran our defense, right? But when we was at the Giants, or you look at Belichick, every game is a new game plan.
Absolutely.
So what did he do in training camp?
Everything. You throw the whole book. Your book, old school, looks like this. You know what I mean? It's huge. Yeah, and then he does that so that when you come to what MB is about to talk about, you can pull out that little section. That's it. Yeah, depending on who you're playing. Go ahead.
Yeah, and so it depends on the philosophy of the coach. Because, like I said, some teams, they keep it simple. This is what we're going to play, da-da-da-da. But then some teams, it's a chess match. And they're going to find out what you do well, Belichick, and we're going to take it away. So it's a good game plan. But what happened though, Orlando, in those schemes, you have a lot more, like you said, you got a lot of more tools in the toolbox. And so you said, okay, we're going to focus on these tools. So it's just not a totally new learning. Right. You still, because you have so much you work on, it's just a way of life. Okay. We're going to play more.
Okay.
And then you may introduce some new blitzes, and you may introduce maybe a new coverage where you doubling somebody, something like that.
Right.
But you see the teams like that typically are veteran teams. They got older guys that understand them. You know what I'm saying? You look at them.
I just got one more question on this.
Yep.
Okay. We come into training camp, we are 3-4.
Yeah.
Right.
We are 3-4. That's what we are. We're 3-4.
Correct.
And then we play the whoever, and the 4-3 might be better.
We morphing. We're gonna morph. We're gonna morph.
But my personnel that I drafted as the front office and the GM and my scouts, I built my team to be a 3-4.
But this is why I'm telling you, NFL is different. So what'd you say? They probably should really think about doing what? Going small. Yeah. So essentially, that's what will happen. A guy that started all 15 games that year come to week 16 and won't start because of exactly that. He's not going to work against them. It happens.
But Orlando, it's like I agree with K. Lou, but it's the philosophy of the coach, right? Correct. Because you look at a 3-4 scheme like, say, Pittsburgh Steelers, right? The old Dick LeBeau scheme. They're not changing. They're running their 3-4 scheme. You know, it's a blitz.
Right.
Yep. They're running their package.
He's right. No matter what.
You'll see who they play based on a blitz package. Okay, we're going to put different blitzes in to stop this and that, trying to take advantage of that, you know? But like it's basically the school of thoughts. Like the Belichick's, that whole scheme, they're gonna it's a chess match. And they're gonna change
everything.
So you see, so a lot of times it's really based on the philosophy of the coordinators, you know, what adjustments they make, if they're going to be aggressive, if they're going to be medium, or they're just going to keep stuff the same.
That's good stuff, NBA. That's real good stuff.
NBA right here and say this. If the Milwaukee Bucks all year for 82 games in training camp haven't been a smash mouth, punch you in the mouth, physical team, it's impossible.
That's right. You're right.
To be that guy, that team is game 3.
You're right. But
look at it, Orlando. But look at this. Like when you think about that, right? What?
MB, put your face in the camera. Like
when you think about that, right?
Yeah,
what coach or team like coach has a philosophy where he's gonna make the adjustment. He's gonna play a chess match, right? Is Lou like that? Because he went to a lot of different adjustments, a lot of different personnel trying to get the right thing in, right?
Listen, they're all like that. The coach from the Bucks is gonna make adjustments, but what you
He
can't
ain't seem to me like he ain't making no adjustments.
listen, he did. He's played the zone. He played the pick and roll 4 different ways in the last 2 games. He's trying to figure out what's the best way to do it. He's trying. But what you can't do, in my mind, from a basketball perspective, is you can't go from a we run it, we smash your mouth, we slow it down, we're going to punch you in the mouth, we're going to throw it inside, to the Lakers, the Showtime Lakers.
Right.
Like you can't do that now.
Right.
That adjustment can't happen. And so to K. Lou's point, yeah, I mean, you sit there and watch the film as a coach and you just say, they're better than us. We need to punch them in the mouth. Well, how? You know? So it'll be interesting. And that's why I was saying that it's important to look out in game 3 is, will Monty sit back and say, okay, guys, we got to play fast. We gotta wrench this thing up because those guys don't want that.
Right. I mean,
he may go small.
They still do what they're doing because they're so athletic. You know, those guys can run, you know? And, I mean, not just the starters, but the backup. You get Cameron coming in.
That's what I'm thinking about. He may start him.
And when you say small with the Suns, it's such a unique deal because you can have Ayton in the game and still be considered small because he can do so much and he can defend so many people.
Exactly.
He can defend the 4. He can defend a 3. He could. So you could still go small, and you could have a lineup out there with Paul, Johnson, Crowder, and Booker with 8 and be considered small. And you know, so that you bottom line is what you guys say, Suns in 4. But I don't think it'll be 4. I think the Bucks will win game 3.
Yeah, my man Westbrook saying the Bucks.
That's how you talking. I'm listening to your analysis, and then when I get a comeback, you saying no, they can't do that. So okay, it's a wrap then.
well, I mean, I think it's a wrap in the sense that the Suns will probably win the series. Well, let's see game 3 and see what happens. But I don't think it's a wrap that they're gonna sweep.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, the guys, in order for that, Middleton and Holiday, they got to have more guys step up, man. He got to have more help, you know? They got to find a way to play together. They got to
Middleton and Holiday, and who else? You got anybody else?
What?
Middleton, Holiday.
What?
Who else you got?
For what?
To step up. You might need more than them. That's all I'm saying,
LP. They got to get their big 3 at least to step up. I mean, the consistent scoring. He got to get some scoring, but I mean, yeah. Because the thing, I mean, what put it over the top this last game was for the Suns, they had Bridges step up. Bridges got like 27 points, so that makes it even worse when the Suns get a consistent 3rd guy step up. It just opened up the floodgates. It makes the job easier for those guards, you know?
I think what Orlando kept hitting at earlier when he kept saying that Giannis doesn't make it easier for anyone else.
Yeah. His
42 doesn't enable Drew Holiday to now go for 30. Doesn't give Chris Middleton a chance to go for 40. So because of that, with Chris Paul cooking the way he does, and if Devin Booker just stays consistent, and of course Aiden has been consistent throughout the entire playoffs, they don't score enough points. Period. Like, I don't care how you
so now, if you go back and look at the tape, Bridges, and I'm not taking nothing from him, it was a career high, I think he had. I mean, he played great, but he got easy looks.
Right.
Because of those guys.
No doubt.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like, because both the way, you know, and they finally gave Earl Watson some credit too in an article I read talking about Devin Booker, and Booker got off the bench when Earl Watson got the interim job, changed everything. And before then, he had been his player development guy. They were one-on-one, so they have a great relationship. and Devin Booker gives him a lot of credit for what he's doing. But what Earl Watson did was he made Devin play the point. So now this ain't just a score. Like he always has in his mind, I can always drop it off.
Man, like I said
that's
earlier,
what kills you.
Because Paul and Booker creating for themselves and others,
right?
Nightmare.
Right. Because Devin, to me, does it way differently than Chris Paul. Chris Paul does it more like a true point guard. Devin, I'm trying to kill you. Two of y'all. Okay, he open. It's more. It's the second thought to give it up, not the first. The first is I'm about to run. I'm about to murder y'all. And then okay, y'all send another one at me. Y'all send a third at me. He open too. That's how that's coming. But he learned that being able to run the point guard position when Earl Watson was there.
No doubt. It's definitely expanded his game, man. You can see that.
Yeah, so I'm sorry.
He made a pass in one part of the game. He was driving to the basket and somebody came. He made a left-handed pass to the dude in the corner, man. It was like, I was like,
yeah.
That was to Bridges.
Yeah.
Hey, like I called our boy Ice Trey a willing scorer.
Yeah.
Booker's a willing passer because he's definitely not thinking pass first.
Right, no doubt. Well, you hear that's what Chris Paul, they were saying comment. He said, man, I get on about he needs to shoot, just shoot more, So he's trying to make him shoot. So he don't want him to pass. He wanted him to shoot the ball.
Who, Devin Booker?
Yeah, Chris Paul said he gets mad when he passes the ball. He wants him to shoot it.
Because I think he understands that he has a better Klay Thompson over there. I think he knows that. I don't think Devin Booker understands him that he's even that kind of a pure shooter, even. Because Klay gets all the credit. This dude do it with the ball in his hand. Klay got to catch and shoot. Klay can't. You want Klay to put it on the floor. This guy right here was a catch and shoot only guy that developed all the rest of this stuff. He used to be Klay. That's how scary he is. And now he's more like a Steph with the ball than he is a Klay. It's just that Steph too is a pass first type of guy too. So that would be convoluting the two guys. So I ain't trying to do that. Well, hey man, we appreciate you, Coach Early, man. You sure gave us the game. You sure enough told us who finna win it by your analysis. Because I listen. I'm Coach, and for what you told me, the Milwaukee got to do, I don't know how they win a game. Now you I guess you gotta convince me they can win a game. But
they'll win. They'll win a game. They'll win one of these two at home for sure.
You can't break the game down the way you did and think I'm finna put anything in Milwaukee.
Derek Westbrook, he said, K-Lou, you're going to have a different tone, man. The Bucks about to win 2 in a row, baby.
Oh, okay. Well, boy, Tucker gonna tell them, look here, man. Y'all get ran out of the gym. Y'all want to play some more. Listen, you hit him in the mouth. You elbow him in the stomach. Like, that's what the coach is going to go to. This is going to come from Tucker then if they finna win a game. I guarantee you it's not going to look like these games we just saw or in any others they played. They're going to have to make it physical if they get a game.
And it'll be interesting. And they may try to go that route. I just my point of knowing some of these guys, their background, oof. I mean, if it ain't PJ Tucker, man, I don't know who's punching the dude in the mouth.
Hey, but MB, you know how that is too. Like football wise, again, it's easy for one of us when we understand what's going on. We'll go out there and take a penalty just to set the tone, to try to hype your team up. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, okay, because they know, hey, get the game chippy. Shoot, they looking for me for the rest of the night, baby. That means you can't think about everything you trying to do, and I'm gonna be it.
Maybe they're putting Giannis' big brother in there. Have him
They may slap him.
He's trying to fight. He's trying to make it dirty, baby.
Well, all right, fellas, man, enjoyed it.
Well, appreciate you coming through. We'll holler at you next time.
All right, man.
All right. Well, MB, man, that was good stuff. Breaking the game down the way he did. I really enjoyed that.
Yeah, man, that was real good, man. Other than you taking a shot about those Hurricanes, baby.
Hey, man.
Trying to say the man owned a strip club. Come on, man. The man.
I didn't say that. He did. I said no. I didn't say that. What? He said that. I said he gave him $500 in ones, and that's what Orlando say. What? He owned a strip club?
I mean, that's what anybody. If you throwing shots like that, trying to apply, the man gave him $500 in ones.
What I was actually saying, he was paying them that so they could go to the strip club.
I know.
That's what I was alluding to.
Throwing the shots, man. Come on, man. Duke ain't doing nothing like that. The man say we gotta pay him some money. What? What? $500,000, man. If they get $500. Every scholarship player get $500.
MB, y'all sure did draw first blood. I tell you that much. You definitely did that.
but you about to see a lot of other boosters around start stepping up. It's a legal way to pay these dudes, man.
Right.
You'll see more creative ways, you know.
Right, and I think it's coming. I definitely think it's coming. Again, I'm looking to the Pac-12 to make the biggest punches at it. I'm just telling y'all, that's just my feeling. Yeah. Already, they did with Oregon. I think more of that is to come. You got to remember
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
You got to remember they just can't get a dude $1 million in a suitcase. They got to make it look right. So
you about to see some oil men. You about to see some techs. You about to see some people that got loan dough that you don't know of.
They just can't give them $1 million though. That's what I'm telling you.
Exactly. But you about to see some Jerry Jones who before Jerry Jones with these schools, man. They gonna find the creative ways. But it's also based on the school don't have a rule now. Some schools they can limit. You know, everybody right now. It's like they pretty much set their rules. So I'm sure they'll try to limit some of the stuff. But but I'm telling you, it's a way to open the floodgates, baby.
Well, there it is. Yep. That's a good place to end. While they open the floodgates, we gonna close the show down tonight. We thank y'all for stopping through, pulling up, hollering at us, because you know us. From sideline to baseline with MB and K. Lou, we are gone.
Peace.